Well, it's Uncommon Fossil Day presenting my Quad Budew deck, something I've been wanting to do since this card came out. So Quad Budew, 30 HP, free retreat, itchy pollen attack for no energy, does 10 damage, and your opponent can't play items during the next turn, so item lock is always super annoying to people, so always looking for ways to kind of take these annoying cards, which are intended to be like one or two of in a deck, where you kind of use it early or maybe late, usually early while you kind of set up your bench, but just making this the feature of the deck. So 4 copies of this. Yes, it's 30 HP, so it's going to get knocked out. That's okay. The idea is ultimately your opponent has to take 6 prizes, though. So being item locked, if they knock out a Budew, can they take out 6 Budews while being item locked the whole game? So that's the focus of this deck here. It does win games, I will say, having played it. A lot of times your opponent just concedes because they don't want to deal with this deck. It definitely needs to get a little stronger, this list. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts about how to do that. So what else is in the deck? Playing 1 copy of Mimikyu, because just another annoying wall Pokemon, and it does have, it's a good thing to hide behind, and will win you games sometimes, especially as you kind of ground down your opponent having this Mimikyu. Usually you want to keep the Mimikyu in the back pocket. Don't let your opponent even know you play it. Usually just make them deal with the Budew, and then throw out the Mimikyu late game to just crush what little bit of hopes they had. Now, look, I don't want to be knocking out the active Pokemon, which you will do eventually with Budew, because part of it is you want to get something trapped in the active. They can't use Switch to get it out. They have to use a supporter, or they can retreat from it, right? So you don't want to let your opponent just leave something in the active till it gets knocked out. So the idea here is get something trapped in the active that can't attack, and then since they can't switch, it's harder for them to get the other guy into the active. So playing Radiant Alakazam with the Painful Spoons ability. Once during your turn, you can move up to 2 damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another Pokemon. So as we put damage counters on the active Pokemon from Budew, we keep moving it to the bench. Therefore, we keep that bench guy, the active Pokemon, trapped in the active spot while we just pick away what's on the bench. So the long, slow game. So playing Pidgeot V with the Vanishing Wings ability makes it's an easy way for a deck to become infinite. If it's on the bench, you shuffle it back into your deck. So there we go. We're infinite, 1 card thing. Very easy there to make this deck infinite. And then playing 1 copy of Fezandipiti EX. We don't play an engine at all. If I didn't do Radiant Alakazam, I'd probably play Radiant Greninja for the engine, but you're going to get knocked out some, so flip the script, and after you're knocked out, draw 3 extra cards. That I think it's good. I honestly haven't needed it a lot. Maybe I should drop it. But having some engine is a good thing. Obviously, it's a 2-prize liability. As you speed up the game for your opponent by having them need less prizes, it does make things more difficult. So just be careful when you put it into play is my advice there. Energy, just playing Psychic Energy because it's all colorless attack or Psychic Energy. So, getting back to the end. So just 4 copies because one may be prized such. So I can get my 2 energies to power up Mimikyu or 2 Radiant Alakazam. Radiant Alakazam's attack is very good as well. Mind Bender for 2 energies does 20 for each card in your opponent's hand. So if you're Budewing, your opponent can play the items for a whole bunch of turns. They build up a really big hand. One of the things to do is then swing in with, okay, I'll set up Radiant Alakazam and just take that knockout, right? And sometimes that is a very effective thing. If your opponent has something, big bench threat there, gust it up and take it out. All right, getting to the items, which is what a deck like this is about. Playing 1 copy of Hisuian Heavy Ball, really good item card. Gonna miss it when it rotates for sure. Put a basic from your prizes into your hand and put this item in its place and shuffle up the prizes. So you don't know where they are in the prizes, but hey, we need to get that Radiant Alakazam. We want to get that Mimikyu if it's prized. So Hisuian Heavy Ball really good there. A bunch of gusting cards in here. So 4 counter catchers, just really good in a deck like this. Just makes sense there. 4 copies of Accompanying Flute. We want to fill up our opponent's bench, so this helps get things from their deck onto the bench, because that's what we got to do. We need to be getting stuff in the active that can't attack. If they just get 1 Pokemon in the active that's powered up and just attack turn after turn after turn, we're going to lose the game. So we got to stop that from happening. Also playing Erika's Invitation to get things. Looks at your opponent. You look at your opponent's hands. You put a Pokemon you find there onto the bench, and it switches into the active spot. Now the downside is you have to put a Pokemon for their hand onto the bench. There might be a Pokemon there you don't want on the bench, a basic Pokemon, and it has to, and then it always swings in the active. So if you have something stuck in the active that you want to stay there, obviously don't play this card. 1 copy of Forest Seal Stone, play a couple different tools. It's just really good. We have the Pidgeot V, so really awesome there. Playing Xerosic's Machinations. This is really good because your opponent there building up their hand size as they can't play their items after you Budew a bunch of turns. Your opponent has to discard cards from the hand until down to 3 cards. So I like to wait till I'm maybe 10 cards in hand. Your opponent builds up a 10-card hand. They discard 7 of them. And honestly, most of the time, they concede after that point. Now, of course, this does it works in opposition to Radiant Alakazam, so if you want to attack with that, you want to let them build up their hand and not play Xerosic's Machinations. Some extra gusting, as well as a switching card. Prime Catcher is what I've gone for there. I don't have an engine, so playing 4 Pokégear 3.0. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck, put a supporter there, find there into hand, so it kind of makes up for the lack of engine. We can kind of get by with what we have here. 4 copies of Night Stretcher. I want to just keep throwing Budew at my opponent. Or if Radiant Alakazam or Fezandipiti gets knocked out too, I want to have access to just get those back on the bench. So Night Stretcher, 4 copies there of that. 1 copy of Pal Pad. Not sure about this card. I put it in early on. I haven't gotten a lot of use out of it, so maybe it doesn't need to be in the deck. Still evaluating that. I will say 3 copies of Nest Ball. I played 3 Nest Balls and 3 Buddy-Buddy Poffin. That's, I think, a good amount of Pokemon search with it. You could maybe cut a Nest Ball, but again, if one's prized, you know, I think 3 and 3 Nest Ball and Buddy-Buddy Poffin is a pretty good mix. 3 copies of Boss's Orders. Just got to keep things getting stuck in the active. Then a couple other annoying tools to mess with our opponent. 2 copies of Handheld Fan. When your opponent attacks into your active, which they'll do from time to time, then you move an energy from the active to the bench. So just trying to disrupt. And then 2 copies of Gravity Gemstone. The retreat cost of both active Pokemon is 1 more, so just making it harder for your opponent to retreat to the bench. So it'll take them multiple turns to attach to the active, so slowing them down there. Playing 2 copies of Iono. I initially had 1. Initially, I think I had 0, then 1. 2 now. I'm not sure if I need 2, but it's a useful card and can be disruptive as well. 4 copies of Arven, just really good. 1 copy of Professor Turo's Scenario, just good to get something out of danger that I don't want. Like if I have my multi-prize Pokemon in play and my EX, one of my EXs, or the V, and especially if like Pidgeot V's in the active or whatever, I can just get out of play, and that's a good thing there. 2 copies of Super Rod. I prefer Night Stretcher, but sometimes, if the games are really long, you got to recover cards, so Super Rod works well with that. And then 2 copies of Switch. I believe that's the last of these trainers I haven't mentioned. So you got to do some switching in the game. So that's the list. I don't have an engine, so you want to have enough copies to have access to the cards you think you're going to need most of the time. And that's been working pretty well with this. So it's a super disruptive, super annoying deck. So it's a deck to grab when you want to just annoy your opponents, which, it's fun to do from time to time. So let's go take a look at this deck now in action. All right, first game trying to record for this video was not a good matchup. They played Mimikyu, which, they played Monkey Dory, sorry. They played Monkey Dory, which moves up to 30 damage counters, and that basically, so I want to go second. I want to have them item locked is what I want to do, right? Because otherwise, yeah, I want to have them, that's, I think, the better situation. I item lock, I want to item lock on turn 1 if I go, okay. So when I'm up against Grass, Buddy-Buddy Poffin, okay. Not a couple Buddy-Buddy Poffins, not a terrible hand here. Some Pokégears, which is good. Accompanying Flute, I kind of like that. So is this like a Evolutions box? I'm not quite certain at the moment. We'll see what I'm up against. So, yeah. So just kind of waiting for the game to get going here. I will probably play the Accompanying Flute. Yeah, there's no reason not to, because I can always fail it as well. Okay. Oh, yeah, so they can attack with this on their first turn for 1 energy. They can evolve this guy. So, okay, an execute deck. I forget exactly what he evolves into, I gotta say. So, we will see. Can I make this work? Time will tell. So, all right, see what... okay, they could have attacked with him, right? I do believe. So let me Accompanying Flute, see if I hit anything. Lady. Okay. So nothing there. So I do want to... Let me get 2 Budews on the bench. Yeah, I'll hold off on the Mimikyu. My opponent can see it. So there we go. When my opponent probably saw that I had extra Budews, that was enough for them. So that's kind of how this deck works. Your opponent's just like, I don't want to deal with this, right? A lot of times I think they can deal with it, but your opponent just chooses not to. All right, see what happens here. So there's 2 cards that if I see, I pretty much know it's a loss, and I'll scoop quickly, usually. One is Munkidori, because with his, I'm slowly building up the damage counters, but then they put the damage counters back on me. I'm at 30 HP, so Munkidori pretty much spells doom for the deck. And then also Dragapult EX. So I want to go second, because I want to item lock them as quickly as possible, and that's the way to do it, right? If I go first, then I can't item lock them immediately, so as quickly. So, okay, get Budew down. They can always play items turn 1, right? Because I can't stop them from playing items on their first turn, because I can't attack going first. All right, so Regidrago. Okay, I think I can. This one's gonna be awkward. It's gonna be awkward, but I think it's doable. I think I could deal with it. I just gotta, this is gonna be a little tricky though. The retreat, I'm liking this retreat cost to 3 too, and the Gravity Gemstone makes the retreat cost being 4. So what can I do? I really want to get something stuck in the act that they don't want there. That's what I want. I need to get a bunch of Pokemon in play for them. Right, Dragapult EX, obviously that makes a lot of sense, but because, look, Dragapult EX is problematic for sure, but I might be able to make it work. I might, right? The idea is I need to get their bench filled up. That's what needs to happen here. So I'll play the Pokégear. Give me something. I guess the Arven at this point. Play a Accompanying Flute, I think. And let's see. I have one of each tool. I should grab some other tool, though, right? I'll do this. Okay. All right, so things are okay here. All right, so, whoops, I don't know what I clicked. So I don't really think I want to. I mean, the problem is that they take out 2 Budews at once with this guy, right? Oh, I should have done this first. Squawkabilly, wow, okay. Well, Squawkabilly EX is okay. Again, they can't use the other guy. Oh, wait, I could have smacked down both of them, right? I could have. I always think it's just one. So that was really dumb on my part. Really dumb. So, see what happens. That was a huge mistake, right? I always think Accompanying Flute is, I can put 1 down, but I can put as many as I find there. So I should have smacked them both down, because I need guys to switch between. That's what I need Pokemon, because I just got to run them out of energy, right? That's what I have to do here. So there we go. Gets a second energy, and okay. That's okay. I guess I gust up I gust up the other Regidrago. That's okay. That's good. I mean, I'm glad they're helping me out here. Because I made a huge misplay. I should slap down a Gravity Gemstone, I think, as well. And yeah, see what happens here. So, I probably gust up. I guess I gust up this other Regidrago V. I want to just slow them down, because the Dragapult EX is going to ruin my day, right? Okay, good. They're thinning out their hand. I like that. Thinning out their deck, I mean. That's always good. What are my prizes? Anything? Fezandipiti's good. 2 counter catchers and my Prime Catcher. Well, that's... And all 3 counter catchers. Well, this is really bad news. Okay, so... That is bad news. So let me gust up him. Just slow him down a few turns. Not liking that at all. I will attach a Gravity Gemstone and item lock him. So that's okay. And we'll see what happens here. That's bad prizing for me, I will say. That's too much gust. Too much gust that I'm going to need over the course of this game. So... I might just lose the game because of the pricing, which I'm not thrilled about. If I get Radiant Alakazam in play, then I will start to, I want to take out the Regidrago V with the energy. So, again, this is okay. They're just slowing down my opponent. Okay, research, I like that. Okay, ditching the Prime Catcher. All All right, I mean, they probably should have Prime Catchered, right? Then they could have taken a prize. And they could have taken 2 prizes, actually, right? That's a big problem, right? He does 30 to my bench guy as well. Okay, good. Getting more Pokemon in play. I like that. Just that's what I need to do as well. Yeah, I don't know why they got rid of that Prime Catcher, right? They should have. I mean, that's a 2 prize turn, right? They just Prime Catcher up the Regidrago V. And that's really what they want to do here. So they can't energy switch. That's the good news. So can I run them out of energies this game? I don't know. They're going to start like cleaning up on prizes at some point. That's the big. Okay, they didn't get energy attached though, so that's really good. I will slap down the Radiant Alakazam. Just start working through things. Yeah, I you know, I'm annoyed at myself for misplaying, I gotta say, for sure. And I'll just attack here. See what happens. I'm thinking I'm gonna come up short this game. That's what I'm feeling like. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. I think the game favors my opponent. I'm not sure though. With the prizing is definitely with the prizing I have in this matchup, I'm pretty sure it favors my opponent. But maybe I can do it. You know, people aren't prepared to beat a quad Budew deck, right? It's not a real deck, and so people don't come into the game with a plan against it. That's a beautiful card there. That's a beautiful card. So if they attach to Regidrago V, I gust up this other Regidrago V. So wow. Okay. Well now. Kiram. So look, they have ways to just crush me though. You know, they take 3 prizes. They take 3 prize turns so easily. I'm probably gonna come up short. That's my problem. I might at some point I might need to bench Fezandipiti just to protect myself. Okay. I mean, Regidrago V-Star power is really good, but they should not have benched that Regidrago V. So that's a huge plus for me. They can use the V-Star power now. They might. I mean, they do run the risk of decking themselves out the more they grind through this, though, right? The Regidrago V-Star power is great. The fact that their item lock, though, makes it a lot less strong. A lot less strong. So I definitely want to gust up the V on the... Okay, so I hold off on this. I think I just... Okay, I move the damage to this other guy, and I'm gonna gust. I want to gust up the V without energy, but I want to wait a turn, right? Because I want to do it when I want to wait till they attach a second energy to the active V, right? Because I want to get the energy spread around, right? That's the goal. Get the energy really spread around so that they can't get enough energy on something, on an attacker, especially these Regidrago Vs, because that energy, because that retreat cost is very high. So they're playing the Iono, so I'm going to lose the boss. And I already played a boss, and I had a lot of gusting prize cards. So, all right. I mean, it's not horrible. I'm not sure what I want to do here. Okay, we'll see. See what happens here. All right, I'll Accompanying Flute, and probably will slap it especially if I get a Regidrago V. That's definitely something I want on the bench. All right, so see, I would love to... So they might just win. Essentially, they might just crush me next turn. That's the problem. They can take 3 prizes, and that's not good. And that is not good, right? So... how do I want to work this? Do I want to... I mean, I probably don't want to Erika's Invitation, though, do I? Or do I? I'm going to Erika's Invitation, and I whiffed. So that's a problem. So I probably lost the game. It was a big chance doing that, I will say. So they're going to board wipe me next turn, basically. Do I want to slap down something else? Oh, yeah, I want to slap down this Budew. That's what I want to do. That's okay. So now I don't lose next turn. That's really good. Let me do this. Okay, that's all right as well. just do this. And I do get to move an energy when my opponent attacks because of the handheld fan. So I slap it onto the Regidrago with the extra energy, right? And I move a fire energy is what I do. That's the goal there. Look, they can just hit the bench with the Kyurem, though. That's the problem. That's a problem. So we'll see what happens. They're down to 16 cards in deck. Can I work them out? Can I get them to deck out? I don't know. I don't know. You know, I really would like a... Oh, Counter Catcher's super nice as well. So do I want to... So once they take the knockout, I can Counter Catcher the following turn. So that part's good. And do I want to do something? Do I want to do something with my Arven this turn? I think I want to snag the Foil Seal Stone as part of it, right? And what else do I want to get? What do I have? I have two bosses in deck. Okay, that's good. So I think I want a Pokégear. So I want to be able to boss them. Okay, I'm fine with those. Those cards are useful. I'm not going to play them this turn, which isn't good strategy on my part, but it's okay. So I can boss next turn. I want to boss next turn. Ideally, they whiff the attack this turn, and then I Pidgeot V, Forest Seal Stone, get a boss into hand, and gust up the Regidrago without any energy. That's like a dream for me. I don't, we'll see. If they don't get to attack, they need a grass energy, right? That's what they need. There are item locked. Obviously, they can't move the energy over. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, I'll do this. Xerosic is really good, but I'll hold off on him. I really want a boss. Here. Okay, so I have boss in deck, so I'm gonna Pidgeot V, get the boss. Because that's gonna really set him back. So I have two bosses. I have a Counter Catcher, so I should have what I need to kind of get the game home from here. All right, let me get him back in deck because I don't want that 2-prize liability there. He's useless to me, but he makes my deck infinite. So I still move the damage from this V-Star to the other V-Star, and I just keep the item lock on, and they're now a bunch of turns away from attacking. And I have Xerosic's Machinations in hand, so I want them to, so that's going to hurt them as well. So I get closer to being able to deck them out by that. So that was really good. The fact that they couldn't attack before, that they couldn't, I'm surprised they couldn't attack. They were one energy away from attacking multiple turns there. But I think I feel, I think with that, since I was able to pull off that last turn, I think the advantage tilted my way now. So, okay, so they're making the big Star Legacy play. Now they're down to 7 cards in deck. So what do they have? Professor Turo scenario. What do they have to? They can play a supporter. They can't play their items. So what did they grab there? 2 energies. Okay, 2 energies, but 2 energies is not enough. 2 energies does not get the job done. So, and they only have 1 energy on the Teal Mask Ogerpon. So he's 2 energies away from attacking as well. So I'm kind of feeling like I'm okay here, right? Let's see, what do I have? I haven't played any Xerosic's Machinations yet, so I should do that on my turn probably. Just forcing them into. Okay, that's beautiful, right? That's beautiful. So I'm gonna Xerosic's Mech. Well, let me do this first. Yeah, this is the right way to sequence it. Look, they know I'm gonna Radiant Alakazam, move the damage from the one active to the guy on the bench, but wait to do it because I could still switch up, right? I don't think what they're gonna do is gonna switch things up for me. But now, look, they can wipe me out in 2 turns. That's the scary part here. They can win the game. They can take 6 prizes in 2 turns, but it's not going to be easy for them to do. at all. So, okay, so move the damage. I'll take a look and see what they discarded, but at this point, it doesn't matter for what I need to do here. So I'll take a look at what they discarded on their turn. Although sometimes it's a little weird. So, yeah, so they got rid of all their energy switches, which makes a lot of sense. I would love to get... okay, so now it's scary. Now it's scary for me. Okay, but they decked themselves out. So got the win there, right? So I guess they're out of energy. So I'll just end turn, and good. I get the win. So opponent decked themselves out, but they were out of the ability to do things. So look, the deck worked pretty well. I made a mistake early on, but was able to come back. So look, that was a game I think that kind of showed the deck and what it can do there. So a couple concluding thoughts at this video. First off, hey, I got 2 Master Leagues, so the deck gets wins, right? That's great. People don't know how to play against it. That's just a huge part of it, right? So Budew, super good. I'm not sure if I'm going to have how many games I'm going to put in the video. We'll see. I had one game that was really long and kind of boring, so I might leave that out, in which case the video will be short, or I'll have that in. I don't know. So we will see about that. So look, for quad Budews, an idea I like. Let me know in the comments below if there's better ways to work the deck. Initially I did it with Spidops. I believe that's right, Spidops, which has the Trap Territory ability. Your active Pokemon's retreat costs 1 colorless more, so it was a good way to get people trapped in the active. And then his attack is decent too. When I had him in the deck, then I played both Grass and Psychic Energies, right? Because I want to attack with him some as well. So Spidops is definitely an option, but you need at least 2/2 or a 3/3 line probably to make it more effective. You eat up bench spaces, giving it more 2-prize liability, so that's why I kind of dropped it. I think just keeping it low to the ground with Budew could put something like the barrel for an engine, let's say, or something, right? Getting by without an engine's not great, but the idea is you're keeping your opponent from doing anything often enough that you have turns to set up. Like Fezandipiti, I don't think any of the games I recorded I put it into play even, but my opponents generally weren't able to set up. So as my opponent it can't take prizes, then Fezandipiti doesn't do anything, in which case I don't want that 2-prize liability in play. And even most games I don't play Mimikyu, but having him, I definitely like the 1 copy of Mimikyu. Maybe the Fezandipiti gets replaced by something else. And Radiant Alakazam is just good, I think, in the deck, so wouldn't change that. So anyway, all in all, I do like this list. Is pretty good. I've tweaked it a few times. Maybe some more Erika's Invitation. I'm not sure. I think a lot of these counts are pretty good is where I'm at right now. So let me know in the comments below changes you'd like to make the deck, or any other ways to play like a quad Budew deck, right? Because there got to be other, there has to be other options out there to it. So anyway, if you want to annoy your opponent some, pick up this deck, quad Budew. It's pretty cheap to craft if you don't have it, and yeah, have some fun by making your opponents suffer.